Hi, everybody, and welcome to the first ever episode of Playing Catch Up. I'm one of your hosts, Kylie Wang.
And I'm Tamara Brown, and we're here to get you all caught up on all the South Florida sports.
So what you missed this weekend, the Miami Heat, obviously the big team to watch in South Florida right now. They're on a series with the Indiana Pacers right now. They're up 3-0. Now, this series has been really great. The last game, we had three 20-plus scores in Jimmy Butler, Dragic, and Bam Adebayo. Tyler Hero also came up big with 20 points, but the games have looked very similar in this series to me. I mean, the Heat have won all three games, but unfortunately, they have these big first halves, and then the second half they just don't look quite the same. And in every game, I believe it's come down to 2 points in the fourth quarter, and they've managed to pull out the win every time. But tell me what you've seen from this series, Tamara.
I've definitely seen the same thing from this series, Kylie. I mean, Jimmy Butler had said it himself. He's like, this is a dogfight. He's like, we're getting these wins out of the mud. Like, they're having to fight huge in the second half. And he's been a player that's been a huge part of that. I mean, him and the rest of the veterans on the team. It's like the last minute 30 of that game. Like, they put all the veterans in. They get a lot of defensive stops, and we're able to win the game. Should it come down to that? Probably not. But at the end of the day, a win is a win.
These games have come so close in the fourth quarter, it's kind of worrying. It's not going to be the formula that's going to win in the second round, assuming in the second round they're probably going to play the Bucks, assuming that the Bucks win their series of the Magic. They're up 2-1 in that series right now. The Magic shocked them in that first game. It was really funny. But now they're up 2 games, and I just checked the score a few minutes ago, and they were up by 20 points in the fourth quarter with about 8 minutes left.
That's honestly crazy. And another thing I noticed too when I was like looking at this series between the Heat and the Pacers, I'm like, I cannot believe that, if the Heat win, this will be the 4th time they've eliminated the Pacers in a row from like the NBA Finals. It's crazy to know that they have faced each other 4 consecutive years, 2012 to 2014, and each time the Heat was the one who eliminated them. The Pacers have never made it past the first round. It's like, you would think this would be their time, to really like prove themselves. But instead it's like, here comes the Heat again, up 3-0.
Yeah, bubble TJ Warren couldn't save them. But moving on, we'll talk about the Miami Dolphins briefly.
Tua is obviously coming in here ready to learn, ready to play. And, he's making that impression from day one. So it's going to be great to see how he continues to perform throughout training camp.
Yeah, he started off a little slow, but I think he's getting there, and he's coming off a hip injury. I think people need to cut him some slack. They think he's like the second coming of Jesus Christ, and it's like, okay, guys, like calm down, give him a minute to breathe. A couple more things on the Dolphins. They did sign a CFL standout, Nate Holley, this Saturday. He was the most outstanding rookie in the CFL. He has played linebacker almost exclusively in the past, but the Finns have him listed as a safety. They've had some success with the CFL in the past. Cameron Wake, who's I think the second highest leader of sacks of the team. I mean, he spent 2 years in the CFL and then obviously is a huge force in the NFL now. But you kind of had the inside scoop on what's going down at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yes, Kylie, thank you so much for giving us the X and O's of what's been happening on the field with the Miami Dolphins. But from the operations side, today they announced that they're going to allow 13,000 fans at the home opener, which is huge. Yay! It's so exciting. I know everyone's been waiting for this news, and it was just great news to see on a Monday morning. It's like really just was honestly like a great start to the week.
Highlight of my week for sure.
Better news. And the Miami Hurricanes are going to mirror those same exact amount of fans at the games, which is awesome. I mean, it's great that they don't have to put together their own plan. They can just follow along with the Miami Dolphins have already put into play. And unfortunately, it does mean no tailgating. But, it's exciting that, one, we'll get to see football and fans will be in the stands at some capacity. What do you think?
I mean, I'm so excited. My dad is a Dolphins season ticket holder and has a fair amount of years of seniority, so I'm hoping we'll be able to go to a few games. And then as a Canes, I'm hoping the Canes will let some students in. I'm assuming they're going to have to, otherwise, I mean, we'll rebel. I will burst through the gates at Hard Rock Stadium in a hazmat suit if I have to. But I think, they seem to be doing a great job in the Dolphins and Hard Rock Stadium, and they have all these certifications, and they seem to be, among the safest. Despite the fact that South Florida kind of is or was the epicenter of the pandemic, they do seem to be doing a really good job of keeping things safe. We'll see how it goes. But I'm just excited to have football back.
Yeah, and picking up on what you said on making sure they're keeping things safe, I think the Miami Dolphins have done exactly that. Like they've just turned all their bathrooms from like manual sinks and manual soap and manual paper towels to all non-contact. Like they've put in the work to change everything to make sure that we don't need to be touching anything in the bathroom. And even on the concession stand, the retail and the ticketing, everything's going to be cashless and like done through the app. So you won't even be like exchanging money with people, credit cards, touching like key cards. I think all of the like vending machines and ATMs will also be closed. So it'll be just like a touch-free experience from what I've heard.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and as you said before, the Hurricanes are mirroring what the Dolphins are doing there because they both play at Hard Rock Stadium. So we'll see as far as students go, how many students they're allowing. That's something that I'm obviously going to be looking into very interestedly. The Hurricanes' first game is going to be September 10th. They're playing UAB, the University of Alabama, Birmingham, at Hard Rock Stadium. The only other thing really that we have to talk about with them is that they just have no positive COVID tests so far, which is great, especially considering that there have been a few at The Marlins were a crazy storyline at the beginning of this MLB season. They started off the season 7-1. They had 18 players go on this crazy COVID reserve list, and it seemed like maybe like the MLB should just shut down. But now they kind of made this like crazy comeback, and they're 11-11 right now. But they won like 70, and then the manager didn't know half the players on the team. Like he met them on game day, like, "Hey, hi, how are you? Go to third base." Like, so yeah, I mean, they had a series this weekend versus the Washington Nationals, who are at 11-14. That started on Friday. They're tied 2-2 in that series right now. Game 5 is tonight, I believe, at 6 p.m.
I think it's 6:30.
6:30 probably.
On that.
It's sometime tonight.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've got a couple of storylines. They had their new pitcher, Sixto Sanchez. He's only 22 years old. He debuted on Saturday, and he just looked freaking fantastic. I mean, he had 5 pitches at over 100 miles per hour or at 100 miles per hour. And then they also had on a sadder note, they have their catcher, Francisco Cervelli. He's on a 7-day injury list with a concussion that he suffered on Saturday as well. He's got a lot of those. Like, I think this is his 7th. And that's kind of a big yikes. We'll see how that goes. I think previously he had been waived from a team after he had requested release because of another concussion that may have been career ending, and now he has another one. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, Kylie, I think Cervelli is listed as day by day right now. Really just keeping him in my thoughts and prayers, as I know this is probably a very scary time going through multiple concussions in his career so far. But you also mentioned Sixto and his start that he had. And there were also 2 more guys who got their big league debuts this weekend as well. Brian Navarreto, he had 2 singles on Sunday, and then Brandon Lee Brandt was able to come in and throw 4 scoreless innings. They weren't able to win yesterday, but that's huge. They were able to get into the game and then just make some huge impacts.
Yeah, you love to see, especially from those young guys, those guys who are first getting their start. And, I hate to say it, but the COVID thing might have been a blessing in disguise for a lot of these guys. The last thing we have to talk to you guys about is Inter Miami, who finally won a game. Congratulations, David Beckham and the whole squad. They finally won a game. They previously had lost 5 games by 1 goal, which is really sad.
And it was at home. I mean, what a better way. What's like, the best way to win is at home.
You just love to see it.
Yeah.
3-2 over Orlando City. Julian Carranza had 2 goals. Rodolfo Pizarro had 1, which ended up being the game winner, and they play Atlanta United on Wednesday night.
Yeah, and actually Atlanta United is also coming off a win over Nashville SC, so it should be, a pretty good game where both teams are coming off momentum from a win.
Cross your fingers for the first doubleheader 2-game wins in Inter Miami history. Then they'll only be...
Anything's possible in 2020.
They're only 1-5 now, guys. That's a win.
Anything is possible in 2020.
Literally anything. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into our first episode of Playing Catch Up. We will be back on Wednesday, so make sure you tune in then. We'll be on YouTube. So don't forget to watch and subscribe to the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. And thanks again for watching. I'm Kylie Wang.
And I'm Tamara Brown.
Have a good one, guys.